Hello, how are you? Hello, hello, can you hear me? Good morning, how are you? Can you hear me? In the ads. Thank you, Casey. There I am. I have been making due to the family sick and cold, sick with colds. Wow. Okay, thank you. How are you all doing? I'm excited to be here. Happy to be here. We are going to do a devotional in Pathway to Presence by Jesse Allen. Kiki's doing better. Wow. Damp and rainy today. Okay, well, here it's cold. With the wind chill this morning, it felt like 9 below zero. Hello, Angelise. How are you? Right now, it is 8 degrees. So it's cold, very cold. So glad to have you all here. World's biggest small group. I wanted to read this to you. I'm doing pretty good, Angelise. Thank you. It's the verse of the day. Hebrews 13, verses 1 and 2 in the New Living Translation. It says, keep on loving each other as brothers and sisters. Don't forget to show hospitality to strangers. For some who have done this have entertained angels without realizing it. How does this apply to me? Hospitality and entertaining might look similar, but their heart is completely different. Entertaining focuses on impressing guests, while gospel-centered hospitality invites them in as family. The Bible calls us to show hospitality by welcoming others as brothers and sisters, even when they are strangers. The world's biggest small group is community supported. Okay, I heard about it from the Christian radio station that I listen to. I thought I had their email address to subscribe. Okay, wait, it doesn't. I thought I had it. Okay, my father's presence. I don't think I read that one. Or did I? We were starting the second section today. And the one thing I don't like about the way this book is set up is they're not clearly outlined. Section 2. Baptism of Love is the title of this one. Hello, Don. How are you? Baptism of Love is the title of today's devotional in this book. John Piper said, "I've never heard anyone say the really deep lessons of life have come in times of ease and comfort." That's true. We don't learn our lessons until we're in difficult times. Isn't that the truth? All right. But I have heard many saints say every significant advance I've ever made in grasping the depths of God's love and growing deep with Him have come through suffering. John Piper said that. And this is what Jesse has said. I have learned that as you grow in your relationship with Jesus, you grow in a desire to love. The reason for this is simple. God is love. He doesn't just have a character trait or a value system of love. He literally is the essence of it. In the spring of 2019, his heart of love began to grip mine. At the time, I wasn't even fully aware of what or why I was praying for it. But I would daily ask, baptize me in your love. In my heart, I had a picture of Jesus inviting me down into a river, saying, let me immerse you afresh in myself. In this picture, as soon as I arose from the depths of the water, love filled every crevice of my being. Immediately after picturing this scene in my heart, I felt empty. I realized that the reality of what I was experiencing in the above vision was not a current reality in my life. This prayer of a fresh baptism of love exponentially grew. I did not just start asking daily. I started asking every hour, then every minute. It became the meditation of my mind, moment by moment. Hello, Timmy. All right, you're shopping. All right, Timmy. Eventually, the intentionality of the prayer lessened, and what I was meditating on moment by moment for weeks became a dull thought in the back of my mind or of my heart. However, the passion and persistence of that prayer did not go unmet. As the next year of my life passed, something dramatically changed that I had never experienced before. I began to feel the pain of rejection and slander, not from strangers, but from people I loved. Wow. Christians, of which the majority were friends, pastors, and close acquaintances. I can't describe in words the pain that this onslaught of circumstances produced. I felt unwanted, worthless, and even hated by many whom I had previously felt loved and celebrated by. I felt weak and vulnerable, not strong and courageous. Has that ever happened to you? It's like when we become Christians, we lose a lot of our friends who are not Christians. People we loved and cared about. There was one specific evening after another such occurrence that these feelings welled up, and I began to cry out to God, asking him, why again? He responded tenderly but firmly, Jesse, you asked for this. Left dumbfounded, I responded, what do you mean? I never wanted this. I felt his hand begin to cradle me as he responded, you asked to be baptized in love. I am doing just that. I had to put you in a furnace of hate so I could refine you to carry my heart. Wow. You can't truly love until you have felt the weight of hate. Oh my goodness. I began to weep. Immediately, Jesus comforted me, speaking gently to my heart, saying, "This is only a portion of what I carry, my son." I began to weep even more as I felt both the personal rejection of friends and a piece of Jesus's heart being rejected by so many. My suffering with Christ at this moment was producing in me a new level of God's love. This would be a good time to mention an important truth. Be careful what you ask for. God may just give it to you. Often I ask God passionately for a desire within my heart. Rarely, if ever, does He respond to my request by meeting it with the expectation that I had set. However, He does answer it, just not within the boundary lines I have set as pleasant. Wow. I thought my baptism of love would come through a powerful encounter that would produce instantaneous joy. However, I learned that often God submerges us in Himself by laying a path for us to walk that is very similar to the one Jesus walked. I wanted to be happy in spirit. God knew a better way, so He made me poor in spirit. I wanted to rejoice with gladness, but again, God knew better. He wanted me to mourn. What the baptism of love cost me was my reputation, but what I gained was the heart of the Father, the love of God. I'll take the latter over the former any day. I would have never been able to say that had I not walked through the furnace of hate, I would have never been able to say that had I not walked through the furnace of hate. But when I encountered His indescribable love on the other end of it, I realized it was the richest, sweetest, and most satisfying substance I could ever taste. The lesson I learned that if I wanted to love like God, I would have to be treated like Jesus. While the level of betrayal, the sting of slander, and the feelings of rejection may come in varying levels and in a variety of ways, when we suffer for obeying God, it truly is a blessing and not a burden. When we suffer for obeying God, It is truly a blessing and not a burden. During these days, God is baptizing each of us in his love, divinely orchestrating events in our life that we could never choose for ourselves, but that are for our best. Today, embrace your suffering with thanksgiving. God is refining you to carry his love. Oh my goodness. And then at the bottom of this devotional, it says, 1 John 4:19, we love because he first loved us. Hello, Sue. How are you? And the question to ponder, to journal about here is my suffering immersing me in God's love? Normally it does. Have you ever felt the pain of persecution, the sting of slander, or the gut-wrenching cut of rejection? If you have, the Lord wants to minister healing to your heart. It's 8 degrees here, Sue. So yes, it is below freezing. Take a few minutes to write to the Lord. Oh, wait, I forgot a sentence. If you have felt the pain of persecution, the sting of slander, or the gut-wrenching cut of rejection, if you felt these, the Lord wants to minister healing to your heart so he can empower you to love. Take a few minutes to write to the Lord. Ask him to comfort you in your mourning and heal hurts that are in your heart. Then choose to release your pain to the Lord. Confess your anger. Choose not to justify your hate and forgive your accusers. Oh. Choose to release your pain to the Lord. Confess your anger. Choose not to justify your hate and forgive your accuser. Ask the Lord to fill your places of hurt with the presence of his love. Perhaps, like me, today the Lord would empower you to pray persistently. Lord, baptize me in your love. There is nothing better than the love of God. That's something I think we all need to journal about. I want to read the next one also. It's titled Hope. Hope. Lewis B. Smedes wrote, hope is to our spirits what oxygen is to our lungs. Lose hope and you die. They may not bury you for a while, but without hope, you are dead inside. The only way to face the future is to fly straight into it on the wings of hope. Hope is the energy of the soul, and hope is the power of tomorrow. So here's what Jesse writes. Hopelessness is a powerful agent of destruction. It steals away faith and robs us of joy. It leaves us living below the poverty line of what God intends for our life. I have found this to be true time and time again in my Christian walk. If you have ever experienced a sense of hopelessness, I've experienced it many times due to the medical issues I've been dealing with. You know the weariness and weightiness of it. Hope is the seedbed for faith and will largely determine if we flourish in our walk with God. God wants our hearts to be a fertile ground that is filled with hope. If it is, we will live a life of active and vibrant faith, moving toward new places with great joy, confidence, and anticipation. Without hope, we will either live stagnantly in comfort, cower away in fear, or desperately long to escape the place we find ourselves in. In the summer of 2017, I found myself hopeless. I was desperately longing to escape the place I found myself in. It's interesting that in 2016, when we left for the year-long discipleship training adventure, it was the last thing in the world that I wanted to do. I begged God not to send us. However, as our 7-month outreach phase ended in Thailand, I begged God to let me stay. I didn't want to go home. However, in his sovereignty, he sent me when I didn't want to go, and he called me home when I wanted to stay. During our time in Thailand, my wife and I lived with 4 others who were also participating in the discipleship program. We grew closer to them than we ever had to anyone else in our lives. Kiki and hope deferred. Yeah, hope deferred makes the heart sick. Yes, Kiki Ann. After that year-long journey, we came back to the same town we had left, and I felt completely empty. I returned home, but it felt like I was returning to a foreign land. I was lonely, I was depressed, and I was hopeless. I wasn't suicidal, but I longed to leave this life to live with Jesus. One day, as I was driving, this newly familiar pattern of thinking stunned me. With deep sincerity and a tender heart, I told God, I am ready to leave this world. I feel lost and I am without hope. Keep in mind, this man is 25 years younger than me. I met him last year. The man who wrote this book. He was about 30 years old when I met him last year. Take me home, God. Let me go in a car accident. Protect my wife. I am ready. It was a vulnerable and real moment for me, as my request to God was sincere. A few days passed after this exchange with God when my wife and I went to help minister at a discipleship training event. Fortunately, an opportunity arose to express my heart to a trusted group of men. As they ministered to me, what got imparted into my heart that changed the trajectory of my mind was hope. They spoke destiny over my life, purpose for where I was placed, meaning in what I was about to do. The simplicity of hope took me from a desire to escape what was next to an excitement to embrace it. I learned that seasons come and go, but God remains the same. I wanted to return to where I was. He wanted me to move forward to what he had in store for me next. What finally broke down the barrier between the two was my ability to embrace hope and move forward in trust when I simply wanted to let go. God wants to impart living hope into your heart. If you are cowering away in fear, stagnantly living your life in the complacency of comfort, or escaping with despair the season you find yourself in, God has a gift for you. He wants you to forget yesterday, embrace today, and with joy-filled hope, walk toward tomorrow. Isaiah 40, verse 31, we've read this before. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Again, that is Isaiah 40, verse 31. So where has God brought me and where has he taken me? Thanksgiving positions us to hope as it reminds us of God's faithfulness. Remembering what God has done in the past to bring you to the present will allow you to look to God and ask him, where are you taking me in the future? As you meditate on these thoughts and answer these questions, write down what God is speaking to you. He wants to impart hope into your heart so that you can move forward with confident joy. So from the first devotional, we need to answer, is my suffering immersing me in God's love? What is your suffering? Is it immersing you in God's love? And where has God brought me, and where is he taking me? Those are the two questions. I don't think I want to do the next one yet. What do you all think? Do you have any comments about these devotionals, questions? I will do my best to answer. Proverbs 13:12, hope deferred makes the heart sick. Yep. I love listening to them. Thank you. You're welcome. This is wonderful. I love this. I hope you all have a wonderful day. May God richly bless you all. So what is the difference between hospitality and entertaining? Or hospitality and what's the other one? Hospitality and entertaining may look similar, but their heart is completely different. Entertaining focuses on impressing guests, while gospel-centered hospitality invites them in as family. Practice hospitality. I feel like that, man, it is true that the Lord feels closer as I have been going through such a hard time these past 3 months. Yes. You're welcome, Sue. The difference between hospitality and entertaining. You're practicing hospitality and then you're entertaining. Hospitality and entertaining might look similar, but their heart is completely different. Entertaining focuses on impressing guests, while gospel-centered hospitality invites them in as family. The Bible calls us to show hospitality by welcoming others as brothers and sisters, even when they're strangers. Sharing Jesus is another Bible study that I'm going to get in the email. This study explores the dual meanings of the word share as a noun representing the common ownership or portion, or as a verb signifying the act of communicating one's thoughts and experiences. It aims to empower individuals to effectively share Jesus by both embodying and expressing their faith. What you'll get. Disruption is the norm. Jesus is countercultural. Fear of being known, a plea for vulnerability. Relationships with purpose, friends with godly benefits. And discipleship making, you are called to share Jesus. Awesome. Sounds pretty good. I think so too. Thank you all for being here. God bless you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Any plans today? I plan on getting my workout in, taking a nap because I didn't sleep well last night. Not enough, anyway. And work on my squares. Tina says, have a blessed, beautiful day today, everyone. You too. God bless you all. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.